Welcome back to another episode of Frame by Frame. Today I have a really dear friend of mine, AISWARYA BUDDHAVARAPU. She's not only a lawyer, an entrepreneur, influencer, and now works for the media. She's hands down one of the biggest movie buffs I've come across. There's not been a movie which Aishu doesn't watch at the release day. Her reviews are really exciting and unique in her ways. So let's dive into today's episode with Aishwarya Buddhavarapu. Hi Aishu, how are you doing today?
Hi Amol, I'm fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Amazing.
Aishu, you have a really unique career path from a lawyer to entrepreneur, influencer, and now in the media business. How has this journey been for you? And where
This,
did it all start?
my journey might seem like a journey of a very indecisive person, which I was till a certain point in life. It started off, I think, the movie side or the entertainment business side of me, that itch I always has as a kid. I never knew how to pursue it. I always had the itch. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know anything, not even a name of production design, line producer. None of these made any sense to me. Yet, somewhere at the back of my head, I'm like, हाँ, ये तो करना है. But it didn't work for whatsoever reasons. I wasn't a math kid. My science subjects were also terrible. I was terrible at school. So my parents suggested that I did law because it's a good industry to be in, it's a respectful field. I was good at social sciences myself. So yeah, that way I managed to get myself into a law school, and it was fun. 5 years was fun. But law school is where I explored cinema to its fullest. Because so far till I was 19 or 18, I was just watching Telugu movies. I never watched anything apart from Telugu movies, maybe a little English movies because of my parents. But when I went to law school, a little bit of piracy, but like we had hard disks in which we had movies. Now everyone's exchanging that movie. Everyone wants to watch the fresh film in town. So that's how I went back and started watching, to a point where I used to go to Wikipedia, say SRK's filmography, print the filmography and watch everything in the filmography. Yes, it does sound like I wasted a good chunk of amount of time at college. I did study, guys, but yeah, I also entertained myself by watching a lot of film content. And then I did work in the law field for a while. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would have. So I came home, I told my dad one day that, listen, boss, I don't know what to do. I definitely don't want to do law. I only knew two things by then. One was food and the second was film industry, but that too as an audience, never as a professional. So my father's like, okay, see, listen, film industry usually is like, no, avoid it, try and pick another field. Also, sometimes because being a girl, film industry is ideally not advised. So he said, no, how about you try the food industry, which I was also very interested in. So I started a company with my aunt and my mom. We called it Podi and Pachadi. I was a partner in that before joining the media industry, where we used to make authentic South Indian podis, chutneys, pachadis, nothing but chutney, right? That was that journey, and then COVID happened for a bit, so I rested it out. But 1.5, 2 years into Podi Pachadi, that itch of still doing something in the media industry. Because I was producing videos for Podi and Pachadi, I was editing, I learned a bit of Canva, sound, underlays. I'm like, hey, this itch is not stopping, it's just going at. So I'm like, you know what? I archived all my personal pictures, family pictures on my Instagram, and I opened it. I started putting movie reviews or any content, something funny, any reels. That's how my boss at Mirchi found me and asked me to come over. I did an internship for a month and did the interview, did all the formality, and now I joined there as a, we call it out broadcasting jog, an OB jog, where we get information from the outside, we record content, and I also handle their digital content. So yeah, I produce and make content now. At 27 is when I finally came to where I always wanted to be at.
Wow, Aishwarya. That's so nice to see your parents being so supportive in
They've
today's
been.
world. And you've been doing brilliant. And I follow you on Instagram. and I find your content really, really nice.
Thank you.
Yes. What were some challenges you faced, Aishwarya, while this transition?
Challenges would be more internal because, to my luck, my parents were always supportive. They've definitely told me that, hey, not doing anything is definitely not an option. Pick a career, stick to it. Every career has its drawbacks. So it was more of an internal challenge because I was still trying to. We live in a competitive world. I went to a law school. I have friends who've joined the law field. I have friends who are making a certain amount of money. And I was still sitting back and wondering, even though I'm very grateful that I could sit back and not do anything for a while, but also it ate me up on the inside that, hey, how do I break this wall? It's my own constraint that was stopping me. It was my own laziness that was. And beyond laziness, I think it was just unsurety to get up in the room and say, hey, this is exactly what I want to do. That was my biggest hurdle. But I think something in time, I personally believe, I'm a big believer in the universe. I think I kept throwing at the universe so much that, hey, I want to be in this industry, in the media, in any form, shape, anywhere. I'm okay to be a spot boy also. So it's just like, I want to go into this industry and learn as much as I can. And I think universe just threw it back to me at the right time in life because it was a hard time for me. I was also like, oh, am I doing what I really want to do? Am I still going to run around with this? How will the world look at me? How will my own parents look at me that, hey, what do we do? So at that time, it just changed. And I think I'm forever grateful for that. But yeah, the biggest challenge I think we all face at the end of the day are your own internal insecurities. The people think, oh, nice Instagram account, oh, she's chilling, killing. Yes, we do, but comes with a lot of hurdles behind it. Yes.
It's really nice to see you be at the best today, and I hope this podcast inspires a lot of young viewers. Aishwarya, have movies ever helped you to overcome your hurdles?
Movies is something I've been obsessed since I was a kid. When they were cassettes, I remember playing the Sound of Music movie over and over and over again till the cassette gave up. Not knowing anything about Sound of Music. Sound of Music is almost like a political debate of the Jews and the Nazis time. But for a kid, it was just a musical that had a bunch of kids singing and a love story happening in the background. That's all I could perceive. So for me, movies is almost like an escape. If you're gonna switch off lights, play something on the screen, I'm done. I don't remember anything. I forget everything that is going on. I'm totally hooked to what's happening on the screen. To an extent, I'm such a screen addict, I can watch ads. You can play advertisements, and I'm more than happy to watch advertisements.
Wow.
Because I think it's just sound, dialogue, color, something about it that always makes me go to it. So yeah, I escape to watch. Sorry, I watch to escape. And sorry, I forgot the question in the flow.
No worries. Coming to our next question. Aishwarya, when did you discover your love for film?
My love for film, I think, started, like I said, since I was a kid. I think also because when I was a kid, I used to share the bedroom with my grandfather. He was aging, so he constantly needed the television on. And I also think it's little bit of genetics because my whole family is a movie buff. It's not just me. My grandmom still tells me tales where when they were living in Surat, my granddad used to get all these people on a train, go to Bombay to watch a movie and go back in the train to Surat. So I think it just ran, and also as a kid, how many theaters would I ideally go to? It's them taking me to every movie that came. So I think it started there, the age, because my whole family reads and watches like there is no tomorrow.
So was there any? I'm sorry.
No. Including my grandmother, she's now figured out how to function around an OTT platform. So she's like, hey, something new is coming up. Could I see? How do I get it? I think it comes from home, if nowhere.
Wow. Was there any one movie which is still stuck with you?
For me, my first film is The Sound of Music, so it is something I can watch on loop. And my second movie that I watched in the television via VCD was Murari, Mahesh Babu's Murari. I still remember it was a 3 VCD disc because it was a 3-hour movie. Yeah, so I used to watch it so much that, remember, was CD discs, they used to get spoiled.
Yes.
They'd go cut, 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 you do wipe it and put it back again. So I used to watch that much film. So these two movies just stuck with me because they're my first instinct of watching a movie or what a movie could be. And I was also a kid who believed that if let's say they're shooting on the road, I would think it was happening there at that time. I would think it's live. At a certain point of my age, I thought, oh, they're shooting there and it's coming on the TV at this very time. So I always found it fascinating because the same hero will be marrying two different girls in two different movies. I'm like, how come they already got married? No, how is he marrying the other girl again? So it just kept making me question my existing reality that, wait, 1 second, in that movie he was a cop, he's not a cop here anymore. And I think the other movie that just changed film for me was Garshana and Pokiri, two cop movies. It just blew, like when they say it's Mahesh Babu is the cop in like almost the climax scene, it just got my, like I was all of 9, 10, I was sitting in the theater and I'm like, what? Are you telling me 2.5 hours of this movie he was the cop? And Garshana, because Venkatesh in that role was fantastic. So yeah, I was always a sucker for watching action movies which also had a love story in the background.
Pokri is also one of my favorite movies.
It's
I've
a fan.
binged it. You remember those video players you had in cars?
Yes,
So
the
while coming
Chotu
back
ones.
from school, exactly, I used to play Pokri and I used to listen to all the songs. I love Pokri.
Pokri is fantastic.
Yes.
Even now that you say the small screen in a car, my family and I were traveling to Bangalore when I think I was 8 or 9. The small screen in the car. My dad gets Narsimha, Rajnikant's movie, Padiyappa in Tamil. And he's like, hey, let's watch this. By then, I'm again with my Murari disc, like, no, it's going to be Murari or nothing, right? He's like, no, 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 just watch this man for 15 minutes. If you don't like it, let's change it. And man, 15 minutes into the movie, that tune played, and I think that just changed my whole life. On the way to Bangalore, in Bangalore, on my way back to Hyderabad, I only watched Narsimha. It's also a movie I can watch on loop. You can just
Nasima was a really nice
Narsimha
movie.
was.
Yes. Who's your favorite actor, Aishu?
I don't have favorite actors. Mahesh Babu was my childhood favorite actor. But after that, I just love actors. I mean, I love film, so I just love, like, even my best actor could give me a worse movie, and I'll not be pissed about it because I'm like, it's okay, next one will be fine. So I never had a favorite. Mahesh Babu is just my eternal childhood crush. Nothing can change that.
The milk boy of Tollywood.
He is.
chocolate
I mean,
boy.
the chocolate boy in Tollywood language would be Ram. Ram Potineni is the chocolate
Yes.
boy. Mahesh Babu is just Prince
Prince.
Mahesh, because he
Prince.
looks. I mean, he still looks. I blush when you talk about Mahesh Babu. Sir, if you're watching this, please. I'm a big fan.
So, Aishu, how do you review a movie? Because it's really interesting. I watch your reels over and over. Every Friday, I wait for your reel. And I'm the first one to like it. How do you evaluate the movie?
I evaluate it like a layman does. I don't, because for whatever good or bad reasons, I've technically never studied film. I've not been to a film school. I don't think any film critic, very few of them might have gone. But I review it like a layman. I don't write any notes while I'm watching the movie. I don't make pointers. Neither do I have technical sense to say, udhar BGM kharab tha, idhar acha. None of these come to me in the theater. Do I like it or not? If I like it, I'll rave about the movie. There are few reels where I've raved about the movie because it's a good movie. But when I don't like it is when I sit down and think, which parts of it didn't I like? Was the screenplay bad? Was I confused with the story? Was the was the acting great, but the setup of the movie was not nice? I wouldn't take a name of a film to get myself or you into a controversy, but let's say, like, there's a great film, they're great actors, there's a great cast there, right there. But something about that world, you don't go into it, you are not convinced by it, is why it would be a bad film. That's about it, right? So I watch it from not even consciously, I am a layman at movies and I watch it like that. So I review it also very casually, like, hey, I didn't like this part, I didn't understand this part. And I thought this part could have been avoided.
So, when you go to watch a movie, what does it take to get that 10 on 10 review? from Aishu.
10 on 10 review from Aishu is nothing, dude. Am I entertained? Because I'm sitting, any person is taking a certain amount of time from their life, going to the theater 1 ghanta and then sitting there 2.5 hours, an ideal movie, and then you leave, that's another hour. Traffic, that's another hour. So if I'm spending 5 hours, I really hope to come out with a smile or like a thought or like, oh damn, that action scene just made me get off my chair. One of these have to click. Or hey, I cried my butt out in this movie. Like Sita Ramam, I wept. I wept like a child after a really long time. It's a sad movie. A lot of people don't like sad movies because they're like, hey, I'm going there to get entertained, which is a fair argument. But for me, one form of entertainment is, did you really make me feel the pain? Did I feel sad for that character? I know Dilkar Salman is not dead in that movie. I know he's alive, happy. But for me, you made me feel like, hey, he's actually dead and Brunal Thakur is really feeling it. So that's that.
That touch.
It has to touch somewhere. Either I have to laugh my butt out, right? Because if it's a funny movie, or I have to cry, or something. I need to come out to us saying, hey, I didn't feel this regular space. I didn't. We all look at our phones, so no blaming there. I also look at my phones in good movies. That's the amount of attention span we're living with. But again, am I entertained enough? That's about it.
Aishu, how do you focus in the movie? Your first day, first show, people are throwing papers, whistling, screaming, dancing,
I
singing.
watched the movie twice. So
No way.
few movies, the big movies, I go once for the single screen ones to catch the vibe because it's just a sheer vibe, right? And again, I'll go to a regular, a multiplex screen maybe to watch it in peace. I've done 2, 3 movies like that, but now I'm also spacing back and directly going to a multiplex
But why?
because I'll have to catch the movie 2 times and I'm not finding that amount of time to catch a same movie 2 times.
But nothing beats that vibe.
Nothing beats that vibe. It's a forever vibe. The idea is, hey, I don't want to hear anything. I just want to sing the song out loud with 1,000 others in the theater. That's why I go to more re-releases now, because for me it's like it's like reading a poem again and again and again. And now with me there are 100 more people who are in sync. So yeah, re-releases are fun, but I stopped watching big movies 2 times, 3 times in the theater.
So Aishu, when you review a movie, I've read your comment section. Sometimes you get really positive feedbacks and sometimes you get negative feedbacks. How do you deal with them?
Positive is great. Some people are very funny. In one movie, I said, hey, naaki dardam gale. The comment was, if you didn't understand, why did you post a reel? That's hilarious. That's funny. In Telugu, it's funny.
Yeah.
Neeku ardham kaakapothe, go home, you said. I found that hilarious. That's fine. Those I replied saying, Anna, it's okay, why Anna, why are you doing this to me type. But there are few who use cuss words and all. That's the thing I like about digital medium. If I delete your comment, you don't exist.
But do you delete
Yes,
comments?
I have. Very meticulously I've sat. I don't need. So what I also notice is, let's say if there are 2, 3 cuss comments, the fourth one will feel even more liberal, right? To be like, okay, looks like she doesn't care or she'll avoid it. And just to, because my family is also on Instagram, my parents are quite tech friendly for their age. I don't want them to feel the brunt of it, and I don't want to read it either, or I don't want others to read it either. There's no good in it. It's not making me laugh. Few DMs I got, I replied in whichever style they spoke to me. But yeah, ideally on my page, it's okay. But that's the thing, like I'm telling you, I'm very evil about the thought that, hey, on social media, if I delete your comment, you're inexistent. I can block you and you've never existed. So that's fine. There's no brunt. Like, I'm not worried. It's okay, we'll deal with it if and when it comes, right? So.
That's a really helpful approach.
Yeah, and like I suggested to men as well, but especially ladies, like go ahead, do what you have to do what you need to do what you want to do. Don't be worried. Let's approach, like if God forbid something were to happen, let's go the right way, let's go to cybercrime, report these accounts. A lot of these people are not worried because nobody reports them. Not reporting on Instagram. Like go report, make a fuss. At least make it look to the world that, hey, if you're going to come close to me in a wrong approach, I'm going to make sure I get back to you in the right way. I'm not going to cuss you back. I'm going to go to the cops. I'm going to deal with this. Nobody should go through so much. But ideally, do whatever you want to do. Always be careful and always understand that it is a controllable space. It's not as uncontrollable as it one. A lot of people make it seem like, oh, you have no control. You have full control. We think we know everything about a celebrity. No, we exactly know how much they want to show us. So even we have that control. You show how much you want to show, and also we have some sense of accountability because it is an open account. Be mindful, be watchful. That's about it.
Well, I'm really happy to hear the way you take this, Aishu. And what a good piece of advice for our viewers out here. Aishu, what do you like, OTT or cinema?
Cinema, cinema, cinema. Because it's, I mean, look at it, man. I lock you up in a room, switch off lights, give you a big ass screen to watch on. I don't want anything else. I love OTT because your web series are not going to be screened in cinema. I wish they did something where like I can take a 1 week subscription and watch each episode every day on a bigger screen, but it's not economical, I believe. But I do enjoy my iPad viewing where I'm very locked into the screen. But nothing beats communal viewing, right? Because they say horror and comedies, these in a theater are always a super hit. Because if you might laugh midway, but the person sitting next to you might get the joke a little more because of his own personal journey. You'll tag along and laugh more because you're finding that guy's laugh more hilarious. So comedies and horrors especially have that impact in the theater. Because some guy in a horror movie will like, yeah, woo! And you're also like, hey, wait, one second, what? Did something happen here? So I think that's why it's nice. And to watch our typical commercial Telugu movie, I can watch it on my TV, there's no problem. It's the same amount of quality. But if let's say Salar or like an RRR, there's nothing like, I mean, one, because these movies are designed to be played on such a big screen. And two, also the kind of mass hysteria we have here. We have people hooting. Forget bigger like Avesam, Malayalam movie. To my luck, I went on one of the, what is it? I think Sandhya or one of their festivals. I don't want to get the name wrong. Sorry, guys.
Do you want us to look up?
Yes, I don't want to get the Onam. Yeah, I think it's Onam. Yeah. So, Avesam, a Malayalam film. To my luck, I went to Prasad's to watch it, the subtitle version. It was Onam. So, the screen was full of all the Kerala, Hyderabad people. And everyone would think, aha, Fat Fazil, right? Who would scream cheer in Hyderabad? But no, turns out people are hooting for him at the top of his lungs. So, yeah, theatre always has that experience.
Aishu, our crew today want to ask you a few questions and there'll be a rapid fire round too.
All right, let's spice things up with a fun rapid fire round. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Ready.
Let's go. If your life were a movie, what would its title be?
Pretty Woman,
One actor you'd love to go on a dinner date with,
Mahesh Babu.
other than Mahesh Babu?
I would never do that, Mahesh Babu.
If you could steal one role from an actor, which one would it be?
Mahanati from Kirti Suresh,
Oh, lovely. If you could swap lives with a Bollywood celebrity for a day, who would it be?
Shah Rukh Khan.
And why?
Why not? It's Shah Rukh Khan. I want to go see Mannat.
Manat, yes. One food item you can never say no to, no matter what.
Pani Puri,
And another one?
Avakai and Annam.
Movies or music? If you had to pick only one for the rest of your life.
Movies, because they come with some sort of music in it. I love it.
Good one. A weird food combo you love but others find it strange.
I love putting blue Lay's chips in curd. It's a nice combination. People should try it.
I'll definitely try it. If a director made a film on your life, who would you want to direct it? Who would you want the movie to direct and the star cast?
Sanjay Leela Bansali because of the grandeur. Aditya Rao Hydari, me in the star cast.
And the hero, who would you want?
Ranveer Singh?
Yes, great choice. What's more painful, watching a bad movie or eating bad food?
Eating bad food. It's painful. The stomach hurts.
Hyderabadi biryani or Andhra biryani?
Hyderabadi biryani. I'm going to be very safe about that.
Okay, you shifted from law to food business and then media. So, what is your mindset? What's the confidence that you need to shift? And what would your advice be to people who lack confidence? When I see your Instagram stories, I see the kind of confidence you carry yourself with. And it's very nice to see that. And what advice would you give people to be confident who lack confidence in life?
Firstly, thank you. Uh, First is it's never. I learned this way later. I don't want to sound like a gyani saying I was born with this. I learned it way later, too early nowadays, that it's never too late. It's really never too late. You can always figure it out. It took me a while to understand it. It's way easier said than it's done. I used to get pissed when people used to say, no, 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 you'll get it. I'm like, I don't think you get it. But eventually, you'll always figure it out. My other advice would be always do your work with your heart. Don't try to scam people. Don't get into that zone. Don't get into that insecure zone of, hey, I need to step over this person to get brilliant at my own work. I don't think that's how the world works. Even though that's how we're asked to perceive it, that it's very competitive, it's very cutthroat. It might be, but if that's not who you are actually, don't try to shape shift yourself. So at the end of it, what I'd want to say is be authentic, be exactly who you are, and things will work. And sometimes being exactly who you are might be a pain for someone. So try to unlearn and relearn. I'm a big believer of unlearning and relearning because life is just like Instagram algorithm, right? You have no control over it. It's going to change however it pleases. It it's based on 100 different factors that exist, not just you. So just be open to being wrong. Yeah, and one of my bosses said this, that be a moron, it's okay. Because if you're a moron, you'll take yourself lightly. That's where my confidence comes from. I don't think I'm perfect. And I'm very comfortable with it. So even if I mess up, I laugh about it because it's alright. Who am I to take myself so seriously? So what that boss said is, even if you become the best, just think you're a moron. And it'll help. It'll keep your ego under control. So that would be my advice. Be authentic. It's never too late. Take one day at a time and don't take yourself so seriously. It's fine. That's it.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Aishu.
you.
Since you watched a lot of films and you're a big movie buff, have you ever tried like making a short film yourself?
Absolutely not. It scares me to even get into the side of making cinema. I want to learn more on the production side of things, that how so much is handled, because there are a bunch of teams entering, there's costume, there is so much happening. There are 24 crafts, right? So out of which the production guy is handling all of these. That is something I always wanted to learn. Making a movie, not really, even though I really, really enjoy taking great videos on my iPhone. That's about it. Put it on cinematic mode and feel like I'm a director and shoot a few reels. I do take few pictures. People say I have a good eye, but no, I've never tried making a short film. Even though I was a part of a short film whose name I will not say because I looked very embarrassing in it.
So you were an actress in that short
I
film.
was not, yeah, I was the male lead's friend. I had like 2 dialogues.
Okay, what about like a script or a story? Have you tried writing something?
I did write. I did write it. I did make one, two people who've been writing for a while now read it. They said it was quite all right. That is one more skill set I want to pick, but I again don't want to bite more than I can chew. So first, I'm trying to focus more on production side of things to learn how to make content up and going, how to make it, how to approach it, how to approach people to get it done with. Now that I'm working in, now that I'm working with radio, which is a medium in itself. I'm understanding the production sides of radio. How do you function? What are the stationalities? How do you get your sound right? How do you make because it's an audio medium. It's even more tougher to make content for an audio medium because people are someone's just driving and listening to you. They're passively listening to you, and I'm supposed to grab their attention. So the ideas have to be very precise and particular. So that's the side of things I'm learning at the moment.
Can you give us an example of like a hook that you guys do to grab the audience?
A hook, which is our biggest hook line, which is Radio Mirchi, the Chala Hot Guru. It is such a big hook line that people use it in film. It's a hook that someone came up 15 years ago with and it still runs. That's one of our hooks. And then we have Hyderabad, Sikandrabad, Radio Mirchi, Zindabad. So something where we rhyme things. And if we run campaigns, we make campaigns just for that, like let's say for Sankranti, we run few liners. Then we have something called Mirchi Shakuntala, which is where we have this character done by one of our radio jockeys, Swati. So Swati impersonates this person called Shakuntala and gives out a certain amount of news, like an editorial, like, hey, this is what is happening, this is information about she teams, but all scripted and structured, like how another character would say it. So it's more, radio works more around audio, more of voice modulation, and we are a bigger medium for playing music as well. So learning music rights, understanding what to be played, what can't be played. Yeah, those are the corporate sides and the production sides of radio.
Cool. Thank you, Aisha.
That was a fun and insightful conversation, Aishwarya. Your love for food and cinema are really contagious. Thank you so much for being on Frame by Frame today. And for our viewers, stay tuned to such insightful and fun conversations. We'll be back soon with another banger episode. Stay true to yourself, like and subscribe. Thank you.